through here? I thought we was over there. Yeah, really. And Daddy don't use a sense of, I don't lose sense of direction too often. But them was some thick ass woods.
This got dirty.
Thick woods.
Dad, look. It got dirty.
Alright, let's go review that footage. Let's see if we got anything cool in the beautiful beam.
Most of it's probably in your pocket.
Do you want to become a randonaut? Well, a randonaut is a person who explores not only the application itself, but just trying to have experiences in randomness in our everyday reality as a whole. The exploration into randomness that we're talking about can be carried out in a couple different ways. The two primary ways that we're going to be interacting with our environment is through what they call blind spots and mind-matter interactions. Kind of like the Vulcan mind meld in Star Trek, right? I'm going to give a short explanation of each, and then we'll move on back to the terms of service, if this fly will allow me to do so. But man, don't you love it when you're filming and a fly comes along just to land on your face and tickle your eyelid? Okay, guys, a blind spot is a place in the real world that I would never normally be able to encounter through any means of my own steam or energy or effort. Through the casual chain of my experiences, I just would not ever happen to go there because as a human, I tend to live a structured, pattern-filled life, and every day I experience things based on my social, economic, and geographic guidance system that's made up in my internal mental state, which, you know, has a certain share and a portion of determinism, which makes me, you know, Randonautica is going to make me go left when I would have went right. You know what I'm saying? Normally I would have made a right turn at this four-way, and Randonautica is going to take me left or center, you know, to explore a different path, alternate paths, which bring us to alternate realities and exploring and discovering more about the Doctor's deep fascination with this Mandela effect. Now, when navigating the world out there, the determinism that I'm talking about is the different choices and decisions that we're making. It can be very hard for us to break out of our usual patterns. But using this Randonautica, which is called the Fathom bot, we can generate a truly set of random coordinates for us to go and explore. Now that in and of itself is what is supposedly helping us to break out of our normal everyday patterns, which, you know, people have termed breaking the matrix or, you know, changing your destiny or whatever. And that's fine, because if my destiny is just to live and die in some mundane existence, that's exactly what I wish to do with my life. I want to break out of that crap while I still have time to do so, while I'm still here able to physically make those choices and changes. But using this bot, it does generate a random location in an attempt to find what they call or have termed blind spots, which, if you think of life like a video game, the blind spots could be defined as those areas which lie just outside of the normal map. You know what I'm saying? If you've ever played a game and you glitched outside of the map, that's basically what Randonautica is saying it's allowing you to do with your own life, is to glitch outside of your normal map and your routine that you would have been in. You're going to end up in a place you wouldn't have gone normally, which can be dangerous. It can certainly be off-putting and make you feel a sense of anxiety and stress in those situations. Believe me, I know. I've played this game enough already on my own, and what I've filmed, I know exactly what that feels like. And, you know, be careful when generating these potential blind spots for yourself, folks, because there's no telling what can happen. And you literally can feel that infinite potential. But that is what I wish more than anything, and I will risk life and limb to get back in touch with that. Because I feel like I have lost my infinite potential, and I wish to regain it. I'm not going to let life pass me by. Now, in order to get the blind spot, you have to send them your location. You have to tell them where you're at. And, you know, supposedly in this new app, there's going to be a thing called blind spots and more. I guess we'll see about that when we get into it. But I prefer to select the quantum, Australian National University's quantum computer to generate my coordinates, because the other options, they can be more useful perhaps in our more advanced experiments as we go along, but we're just going to let ourselves feel free to play around with the app and sort of discover what it's all about on our own in the field. We're not just going to sit here and talk about that endlessly. Now, the other one that I was mentioning before was also called a mind-matter interaction. Now, you may have heard of this one, and you may have heard me discuss it at some length. We're actually giving terms to some of these different experiences now. The mind-matter interaction encompasses the other side of randonauting. This would be the idea that the human mind itself can actually have a statistically significant impact on the output of the quantumly generated random number coordinates that were given. Okay, so this Randonautica Fathom bot is generating for us what is called an attention-driven anomaly. They've shortened that to IDAs, intention-driven anomaly. Basically, an intention-driven anomaly are coordinates or locations that are calculated based on the quantum random number generator, and which are often explored through the use of whatever our intention was when we click the search button. So what this potentially means for us is that our mind can have some influence on the location and the experience we'll have, subsequently generated by what this bot is telling us when it's giving us the random coordinates, because it's pulling it out of thin air. It's pulling it out of the quantum realm. And so therefore, we're actually, as people say, manifesting whatever our intention is. There are different types of intention-driven anomalies. The most polar opposite, are the attractors. And then there's also the voids. The attractors are clusters of random points, and voids are the opposite. They are the negation of those random point clusters. Essentially, they are nothingness, points of nothingness, right? So that's why people are generally saying attractors, you have more positive or more strong experiences, but voids, you may have very subtle but very negative experiences. So we'll see the difference in that as we go along. Like I said, this is us playing our own choose your own adventure game. And believe me, guys, I'm doing my best to do as far and in-depth of an analysis in this particular Randonautica series that I possibly can. I've given up all online streaming of games right now, and we're going full bore into Randonautica because it's very interesting to me, and I'm loving it, and you guys have made this my most successful video ever. So the people have spoken. They want more Randonautica. The doctor is going to deliver. This is a hot topic right now. This could possibly get me partnered with YouTube. I don't know what the future holds, but I know that you guys want more, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving you more. So we're full-blown going into Randonautica until further notice. All games are on hold. I appreciate everyone who took part in West Denver last month. I wish it could have been more. I promise next year we'll do it again, and it will be better. And I'll dedicate more than one day a week to it as well. And I'll make up for all the time that I was unable to spend with you guys this September, because, as some of you know personally, the doctor relocated again, as I always do. The blue box goes from here to there to everywhere. So please, there's no telling where the House of the 12th Doctor will be next. Leave me a comment down below if you would like me to come and explore and do Randonautica in your state. I would love to do a collab with any of you guys who have channels or just want to be on my channel in real life. I'm absolutely up for that. Just let me know. Hey guys, just trying to break up the monotony here a little bit to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about with me moving and stuff. Here's a little random clip of me complaining about losing some video footage amidst the chaos of the last big move I was in. Hope you guys enjoy it. It's just a little piece of the inside of my house. I like to do the behind the scenes when I can and kind of show you what really I'm all about, you know, the real me, because that's what people have always loved about my channel, and that's what I'm going to always continue to show. And so, like I said, you know, here's a little snippet of what you might see if you stay tuned, because man, I show you guys everything. I've got so much video footage backlog, you know, it's hard to keep up with it all, really. But check this out. Tell me what you think in the comments down there. Okay, now it's cool. So, all that mumbo jumbo and crap that happened before now got deleted. That's what I get. Just thought we would take a little bit of time today, and we're going to go over the terms and conditions of Randonautica. For those of you who know, the app's been down. It's recently just came back up. I've signed up for beta so that we can get access to any of the latest and greatest new features they come up with. And we're just going to breeze over the terms and conditions, try to highlight some of the most important parts. And that way, any of you who sign and agree to this may actually just watch this video instead of reading it, but I'm just going to go verbatim off what they say on their website, their app, before you click agree. It says, terms and conditions. Welcome to Randonautica, a real-world adventure game which uses quantum entropy to randomize and output coordinates for the user to journey to. Randonautica offers a reality-driven experience after the user has derived coordinates within the app. Please read these Randonautica terms of use and any applicable app guidelines. The guidelines and collectively used terms, because these terms govern the use of the app. These terms also govern your interactions with and the use of any Randonautica products or services together with the apps and the services, which maybe we'll be finding out about that as time goes on, because who knows what they'll come up with next. If you live in the United States, these terms are entered into between you and the Randonauts LLC, which is addressed at 1211 Applewood Drive, number 1, Papillion, Nebraska 68046 in the United States. If you live in any other country, then these terms are entered into between you and the Randonauts LLC, a company registered to do business under the laws of the United States of America. Randonauts LLC and Randonauts Limited Liability Corporation are collectively referred to as Randonautica, we, or our in these terms. Now, I will be reading them as best I can in first person to us. So, I'll be using they, them, their. But it says, by using these services, we are agreeing to these terms. If we don't want to agree to these terms, then we may not use these services. Randonautica may modify these terms at any time, and if they do, they will notify us by posting their modified terms on their website, www.randonauts.com. That's www.randonauts.com. The website, the site, here referenced to, is in application terms of use. I think you can find this there as well. It's important that you review any modified terms of service before using this service. So, in other words, just because we clicked it here, they could have changed something there, and this is old information. But so, in other words, you need to read this plus go to that website, which we may do at a later time. If we continue to use the services, we are bound by the modified terms of the agreement. If we don't agree to be bound by these modified terms, then we should not use this service. So, there's something very important. They got you by the cojones right there, huh? If you breach these terms, they may take action against us, including but not limited to terminating our account. So they could do that as well as other legal actions, right? I'm acknowledging that I have no obligation to be reimbursed or refunded any services lost due to involuntary suspension or termination of my account. So in other words, if this becomes hugely popular on YouTube and somehow I make them mad and they want to cancel my account with them, they have every right to do so, and they don't have to reimburse me what I possibly might have made on YouTube through this Randonautica series, okay? Now, privacy, that's a big one. I would probably skip over, but I know that people need to understand what the legal terms of what they're actually saying, what they do with your information, okay? Their services are designed to enable me to interact with my surroundings in either a real-world environment or digitally by using an online map to view the coordinates provided by the app. To provide the services, they need our location, our GPS coordinates, and they only use this information where they have a legal basis to do so. Okay, so that's pretty general right there in my opinion. Where they have a legal basis to do so. I mean, maybe we'll find out a little bit toward the end of this contract we're signing up for exactly what that means. Safe and appropriate use. This would be safe and appropriate use of the Randonautica app. While using their services, we need to be aware of our surroundings. We need to play and communicate safely. We agree that our use of their service is at our own risk, and that they will not. That I agree that I will not use this service to violate any applicable law, regulation, event, policies, or instructions as outlined in these terms, and I will not encourage or enable any other individuals to do so. So, every time you trespass with Randonautica, you're wrong. You're so wrong. But everybody does it or you wouldn't be able to play the game, right? So, furthermore, I would just like to hereby state that I consider myself a sovereign citizen and I don't adhere to any of these trespassing laws. Just because someone says I can't go somewhere doesn't mean they're the god of the land and can tell me where I can and can't go. I'm going to go wherever I want on this earth. And if you're big enough to stop me, then I encourage you to do so. Furthermore, I agree that in conjunction with the use of this service, I will not make available any unlawful, inappropriate, or commercial content. Okay? So, I'm not going to, use this app to find things that are horrible and then go there and enjoy them. If I use this app and find things that are horrible and wrong with society, we're going to go there and stop them, okay? That's the truth of the matter, and they better know it. Everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice better know it. The doctor's coming for you, evildoers. Randonautica does not intend apps to be medical or health devices or provide medical, emotional, or mental advice. Nope. That's not happening with Randonautica. They're not going to be able to send you the random location of the cure to COVID, okay? I guess that's all they're stating there. But we'll still try that intention. We will try it. The fountain of youth, it's worth a shot. And we are in the area where Ponce de Leon did come, so who knows what can happen. Alright, so location and coordinates. Randonautica has a verifiable random process for deriving the points in which the user is given. It is wholly the user's choice whether or not to travel to the coordinates provided. So users should abide by these following guidelines. 1. Do not trespass on private property. They actually put that one first. 2. Do not travel to locations that could cause you physical harm. But if you're doing it on YouTube and you don't go, everyone is going to call you a chicken for the rest of your days. Do not travel to the locations that appear to be dangerous. Well, if you don't almost die in every episode, then somebody is going to leave you a negative comment and say that your freaking last episode was boring. So we can't let that happen. Journeys and other locations based on activities are facilitated by their services can be dangerous, and they may take us to difficult places that are hard to access, potentially even treacherous locations. You could use Randonautica and end up in a freaking meth lab that's been, created in the middle of the woods. But when taking part in such adventures in these location-based activities, you risk property damage, bodily injury, or even death. So they're letting you know right there, this crap is dangerous, and they're not taking any liability for the dangers attached to it. There are many variables that must be considered prior to engaging in the location-based activities, including we should take into account the weather, our own fitness level, the different terrain features that we might be encountering that day, and, our level of outdoor experience should also be considered. Be prepared and be sure to check the current conditions before heading outdoors. So always check the weather before you go. Always look at it on Google Earth and Google Maps and Street View and get as much possible information before you go on your journey. Always exercise common sense and caution. Randonautica does not incentivize a user to travel to a location, and the provision of locations do not imply that accessing such locations is either safe or legal. They're just giving you a random coordinate. What's actually there, they don't even know, right? That's truly the randomness of it. Okay, and which is fair enough. I mean, that's what they're saying. This app is here to give you a random set of coordinates. We don't know what coordinates you're going to get based on where you are when you hit the button. So it could be anything, is what they're telling you right there. So after location coordinates are provided in the app, Randonautica is not responsible and will not be made liable for the user's subjective experience on the journey to the destination. The user thereby, me, agrees that exploring unknown locations is done so at my own risk. So, therefore, interacting with the environment and the people, I agree that in conjunction with the use of this service, I will maintain safe and appropriate contact with other people, my environment in the real world, and I will not harass, threaten, or otherwise violate any legal rights of any others, including their property. I'm just out there trying to get to a location. Folks, I'm not going, if you see me in your backyard randonauting, I'm not going to take anything. I'm not going to damage anything. Now, when it comes to trespassing, I have to say that's the number one thing about breaking through reality. If this is a way to break through the matrix, then this must take me outside of my normal 9 to 5, my normal experiences of what I would encounter. It's going to take me somewhere that I could not get by my own steam. Human mind can actually affect a quantum random number generator, and we can actually, choose our own adventure, as it were, to go out on. If so, what are some of the anomalies that you would like for me to explore? What are some of the intentions you would like for me to have as I go out on these adventures? Leave me a comment down in the comment section below and let me know what intentions you have, and I may shout you out on a future episode if you give me a good one. So think about it, leave me a comment, and hey, interact. This is your channel, baby.
And if you do?
Now, one thing I want to talk about is the simple fact that sometimes we can have a bubble called information bias, is what people are terming it, where basically you cannot set an intention and not see it if you're hyper vigilant to see said intention. If you set an intention that you're going to see something blue, or you're going to see something like a dog, well, you're going to be hyper vigilant to notice those things when you go out on that journey. In other words, you may have passed by that dog or that blue house or that blue picket fence, and it would have been of no consequence to you if something else were your intention. So there is a certain amount of, yeah, that was just coincidence, but we'll judge it adventure by adventure. You know what I'm saying? If certain things keep happening, say if we set our intention for blue 10 times in a row, if 10 times we see something blue, we know the app is pretty legit. If only 3 times out of that, then we know, yeah, the app has some legitimacy to it as far as having these intention-driven anomalies, but truth be told, it's not wholly accurate enough to, rule out the possibility of it just being a random coincidence. But that's what this is all about. That's why they call it Randonautica. When you play Randonautica, random coincidences are not just random coincidences, because at a certain point, the more you play it, these coincidences seem to be contrived. Like someone or something up there is pulling the strings, making these things happen. But you be the judge. But one way that we could give this, a fine little test in our own lives is everyone watching this video right now, when you go back to your normal daily lives, do so. Because there may be something to this, information bias thing. And how we can test it is, I'm just going to put it out there right now. I want you to keep in mind the number 23. Now, see if you don't notice that things start adding up to that, or somehow it doesn't start becoming conscious in your awareness because I have pointed it out to you and made you focus on it. But if you know anything about quantum mechanics, then this all does make sense in a way. And we'll get into that later. Minus the incident in Seattle where they, of course, if you don't know, actually used Randonautica to find a dead body, or maybe a couple dead bodies in a suitcase. That's what kind of got the big national media attention, which led me on to know that it existed. Beyond that, there have been other things, other discoveries, other videos out there, and I believe some of these are exaggerated events, and I think Randonautica would definitely be the type of app that would be easy for someone to fake their videos or to plant things themselves before they go out to said coordinates. So I'll try to make a point of showing you guys as best I can exactly what it is I'm doing, so that it'll be as forthright and as plainly transparent as it can be. Those of you who know me on a personal level, who have played games with me, you know the doctor's not a liar, and I'm not going to spend my days pursuing an investigation that's where there's nothing there. And there is a point that I came to where I was like, there's nothing there with Randonautica. I'm done with it. But I think it's actually watching other people's adventures that's brought me back to it, and now it's gained me more interest. And then I finally edited my own episodes, I put it on the channel, and I see that you guys are interested in it. So you know what? We're going back randonauting, baby. That's just all there is to it, you know?
That's...
I just came to the conclusion, we've really got to see this thing through. We've got to make it happen. You and I are about to go randonauting. And what we find, we'll find together. And we'll be as honest with one another as we can. If you guys start to have your own randonauting experiences, which I'm not in any way trying to get you to. I'm not twisting your arm here or holding a gun to your head. I definitely don't want anybody to go randonauting to impress me or anyone else. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm doing this mainly, is so that you can sit home in the safety of your house and have an adventure with me as I go out and I randonaut, and you can not have to. But if you're a brave soul like me and you enjoy adventure, and you probably just couldn't spend all day indoors, or maybe you spent enough time indoors, this is one activity, in my opinion, that's quarantine friendly. Just because you're going randonauting doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have interaction with a bunch of people. But it certainly does put you in some situations and in some isolated locations that you wouldn't otherwise normally be. So always be safe, guys. Bring someone with you. Bring a friend at least. Don't go by yourself like you see me doing. I'm stupid, and I would honestly bring friends with me more, but nobody that I know wants to go. If I find some brave souls that I don't feel like I'm like really having to just twist their arm to go with me, because I used to think this app was safe, guys. I mean, I took my children with me in the last episode, and I'm not so sure anymore. Some things have happened off camera that have made me think twice about it. So we're going to attempt it again, but I'm going to be safe. And I'm not saying that they won't ever go with me, because they're brave souls just like I am, and we'll face whatever dangers are out there together. But I'm not going to make a habit of it. This in-depth exploring and all that, I'm going to need to do that on my own for a time. And if I find some people that want to go with me, so be it. If I have to go by myself, then so be it. So whatever happens will happen, and couldn't have happened any other way, because as long as I'm still alive, there'll be the next episode. If you don't see the episode, then that's because I'm dead. Which ain't gonna freaking happen, Jack. So back to the terms and conditions. They basically, want me to have appropriate contact with other people, which is how I would conduct myself anyway in life, let alone if I'm playing Randonautica. We're not going to harass or threaten anyone, unless we feel harassed or threatened ourselves. Then we have a right to defend ourselves, and I don't care what their guidelines say. But I'm going to do my best not to trespass. I'm not going to trespass at every opportunity. But if I see something super interesting, guys, I'm not sure that my overarching sense of security is going to take place, and that the whole risk versus reward thing. If I see something I want to find out and something I really got to check out more, I'm going to go check it out. You know, one thing I wanted to take a second here and say is that this Randonautica is a real world, as they call, choose your own adventure game, and it uses quantum entropy to randomize the output of the coordinates for the user to explore. Well, we just want to take 1 second here and talk about quantum entropy. Quantum entropy is a thermodynamic quantity that represents the unavailability of a system's thermal energy for conversion into mechanical work. It's often interpreted as a degree of disorder, which in and of itself means randomness within the system. So entropy, you can think of, is randomness. So there is the random in Randonautica. Let's take this conversation outdoors, shall we? Anyway, so back to the terms and conditions. Thought we'd just change up the environment here. Y'all gonna listen to me for a while rattle on about this stuff. I just thought I'd give you a little bit different background here for a minute while we finish up this conversation. I think pretty much to summarize what we've already read, it's pretty much saying that if I put out fake content to you guys and somebody wants to make a big deal about it at Randonautica and say, hey, that never really happened because of our app, they can very well do so, and I'll be found out as fake. So doesn't encourage me to do anything but be forthcoming and truthful and honest, which is what I would do anyway, with or without their terms and conditions. But I would remind other people that watch my channel who have their own Randonautica experiences that you should be honest and forthcoming too, because, you know, lying never does anybody any good. Because honestly, guys, all it does is complicate the possible, you know, real world. Would you guys stop growling? Is there something back there in the woods? My dogs are going crazy. Anyway, y'all let me know if you see anything in the video, right? Sasquatch is watching us record today. Just like I said, it's just like if you fake Bigfoot videos, you know what I'm saying, you're taking away from the actuality if there really was a Bigfoot video. Or if you fake ghost videos, then you're taking away from credible investigators who are really trying to find proof positive of the spirit realm and the paranormal. So, like Mama said, be honest, you know, just be yourself. That's all we can do, and that's all I'm trying to do here with you guys. Now, if I'm taking liberties and I'm being a little bit creative with the randonauting, you'll know. And how you'll know is I'm not going to outright say it, but it'll fall under the guise of my web series, which is the Lost Dimensions, because I plan on giving you guys Randonaut series and Lost Dimensions, but there is going to be a crossover, okay? There is going to be some things coming up that I'm putting on the channel just for content, just to make it fun and interesting. But everybody knows when the Doctor is being fictional, when I'm just having a good time, because it'll fall under the Lost Dimensions series. The Lost Dimensions, if you don't know, is my web series where I'm going to make it like a movie for you guys. I'm not just straight up shooting real live content like I am today. It's going to be a place where I can showcase my special effects skills and stuff like that. But I want y'all to know the difference between that and the actual Randonautica series that'll fall in its own list, where we're just going out playing Randonautica. But I've already decided that Randonautica is going to have its place in the Lost Dimensions. It's just too cool. Episode 1 is coming up for you guys really soon. I'm working hard on it. I've got most of the content written. I've got some of it filmed. It's been a long time in the making, and like I said, it's a series, so it kind of builds on itself. Like some of the things we've done way back haven't actually come to you guys yet, but trust me, the Doctor's been working on it. Ant crawling on my computer there. Let's finish these terms and conditions though and get through today's video, just because I want you guys to know what you're getting into if you decide to do this for yourself, because I know most of you aren't going to read it. You're just going to click the agree button, and I want you to really know and really think about what it's all about. And that way, if you don't have any intentions of doing it, you'll at least know what I'm doing, and I'll know, because the devil's in the details, guys, that's for sure. But anyway, Randonautica they have this verifiably random system, right? So they don't know where they're going to send you, that you could go anywhere, literally. So what they're telling you is the general rules are: don't trespass on anyone's property. Don't travel to any locations that could cause you physical harm. Don't travel to locations that appear to be dangerous, okay? If you see guys with AK-47 sitting on their front porch and a minigun mounted to a mount with, like, you know, a bucket of ammo next to it, you might want to just drive past that house and go to the next one, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's the whole thing about adventuring in your world is, you know, if you just sit in your house all day, you're never going to have any fun. What kind of life is that to live, you know what I'm saying? Not that we don't do that for a certain amount, and I like to chill and play video games with you guys. I've done that for over the last year and a half, and as you know, I'm having to start over on YouTube and Twitch, and I appreciate all you guys who have followed me here on YouTube, and for those of you who are nice enough to go over to www.twitch.tv/the12th Doctor and give me a follow or whatever over there, because I don't have sub yet, so I'm not partnered. But yeah, I thank all you guys. I'm going to make it up where we have merch. I'm going to make it up where we have, not Patreon, but something like Patreon, where you guys can make a donation to the channel. I mean, right now you can use Google Pay if that suits you. If you want to donate, if you like the content, you want to help out, and you're like, hey, I want to help buy you your next cam, doctor, or I want to see you guys with walkie-talkie headsets. Here's $100. Go get you some walkie-talkies. How my channel works, how it's always gonna work, and how it always has worked is, like when I first started streaming, guys were playing video games with me. I was just streaming my gameplay, and they said, hey doctor, we'd really like to see what you look like. If I sent you the money for a webcam, which you could probably pick up for like $20, would you go buy one? And I said, yeah, I would. So shout out to Andy Ashes. He's linked on my channel. There is one of the channels you can go and give a sub to here on YouTube. He's a really cool guy. He streams on Twitch as well. You can follow him there. He bought my first camera that you guys watch me on Twitch. It does about 720p, which I think, is not the max that you could go for. But if my game plays at 1080, who cares what I look like in that little box, right? So, thanks to him, the channel got an upgrade. So every time we get an upgrade, it's because of viewers like you. So definitely know that you can make a difference on this channel, and you can influence what our future content is like. You can take part and be a part of this channel, because this is your channel. And I've always said that to everybody that comes to my channel. That's why we love getting in the games and putting everybody, in the party, so that, your voice gets heard to the audience. And guys, we've had over 150 something people watching us live. The doctor's had over 300 people come by and watch his offline views when I was on Mixer in a week. And now we're going to do the same on YouTube. The Randonautica episode that we last filmed got over 100 views, and I'm stoked, guys. I mean, we have nowhere to go but up. So keep coming back, and I'll keep trying to put content out for you as fast as I can. I'll get better as I go along, and who knows, maybe in the future I'll be able to do this full time, and we'll be putting out 2 or 3 videos every week. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm trying to shoot for 1 video every 2 weeks. And I've been fairly consistent with getting that, and sometimes I can, I have like 1 episode 90% done, and I just need to put some finishing touches on it. Sorry, that's just how it is, guys. I get something all the way ready to give to you guys, but I've got to put a last few finishing touches, and then I just got to find dedicate one day where I can say, okay, we're finishing up this episode. We got a new Red Dead series that's coming out for you. It's in dedication to last month's, last month on Twitch, I ran a series called West Denver, and since West Denver's over now, the one thing we will get out of that, the one thing that I have done mostly, and I'm about to give out to you guys hopefully here real soon before Thanksgiving gets here, maybe even Halloween, is the first episode of our Red Dead Redemption 2 series, where we actually have some characters and some storyline to add to the official gameplay to kind of like make up our own Red Dead series and story. Anyway, back to these things. Anyway, we're not going to journey to locations that appear to be dangerous. I don't recommend you do, but I might. Just keep watching and you'll have to find out for yourself. Journeys and other location-based activities are facilitated by their services. They can be dangerous, and they may take us to difficult to access or potentially treacherous locations, or potentially to locations where the people there are treacherous. Who knows? It's just really random, guys. That's the point. When we're taking part in these location-based activities, we need to take into account our weather. Is it raining? Well, that's why I got the GoPro. It's waterproof, so that's not going to slow us down. If it's lightning, I'm done. I'm heading back to the house. Our own fitness level. I'm trying to get better, back in shape, guys, and I'm using Randonautica to help heighten my fitness level. So really, I am thinking about that one all the time. I'm thinking that if something's chasing me, I'm gonna run a little bit faster than I do when I'm jogging down the road. So I'm not worried about that. We need to take a look at the terrain. You can use Google Earth, Google Maps, you can use Street View. Try to get all the information that you can before you go out. We're going to do that as well. We'll be showcasing that on the channel. If I can find ways to get that to you through, like streaming what's on my laptop. And we're going to always be exercising our common sense and going to be cautious, okay? Randonautica does not incentivize a user to travel to a location, and the provision of the location does not imply that accessing such locations is safe or legal. So in other words, just because you get a random coordinate somewhere that the app gave you does not mean that it's safe or legal to go there, okay? Duly noted. It's wholly the user's responsibility to decide if the locations deemed safe in all forms are legal for us to travel to. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There may be bonus episodes that I'm not able to air on YouTube. And for those, my friends, you will have to pay. For bonus content, for stuff that I really get in depth with the investigation, if it goes that deep, I'm hoping you're cool. I'm hoping nobody bad will pay for it, just the good ones, right? Nobody that'll tell on me. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what all we'll get into. We'll just play that by ear. As with all things, I've never been much for reading the music beforehand. I just play things by ear. So we're going to do our best to avoid trespassing unless we see something super interesting, and then I know my curiosity is going to get the better of me. I'm not going to lie. But I will never harass or threaten anyone unless they harass or threaten me. I have a right to defend myself, and I intend to do so. Yeah, trespassing is basically attempting to gain access to any property or location where we don't have the right or permission to be there. So we don't need to engage in those activities because trespassing can lead to injury, death, and they might damage their own property while they're trying to shoot you, so that'd be so horrible. But if there's a house nearby, we can always knock on their door and say, hey, is it okay if we go out here and explore this point that got randomly generated? When I'm talking about trespassing, I'm generally thinking to myself, trespassing at somebody's house, right up to their doorstep, or hunting the freaking point that's in their backyard. We're not fixing to do all that, you know what I'm saying? Because the doctor's not trying to get shot, all right, over playing Randonautica. Now, granted, I want to see if this thing manifests everything that I want, and there's going to be a point we get to where I'm going to have to break through. I'm going to have to choose: am I going to stay inside the borders of the map and the boundaries that I've been given, the limitations that have been set for me, or am I truly going to glitch out the map? That's the choices you're going to see we're confronted with here on this channel. Hey guys, haven't even logged into the app yet, and the strangeness has already begun. My phone, for some reason or another, as soon as I open the app, has been flickering uncontrollably. I restarted the phone, and now as soon as I click on Randonautica, it's kind of doing the same thing again. Then I get a random phone call out of nowhere from a number, and no one says anything on the other end. Now, I've literally done nothing, not even sign up, but I guess as far as whether or not to put my real name or an alias on the app, they've actually answered that question for me, wouldn't you say? We're going to call this number right now and put it on speakerphone. Just because, like I said, you guys are involved in every step of the process on the way through. They hung up. I'm going to bug the crap out of them now. It's ringing. I'm sorry, what business is this?
This is Alex from Computer Support. Your number requires to be money for the software.
Is there a reason why you guys might have just called me? I was just calling you back.
Yes.
Why did y'all call me?
So the services which you have taken has gone expired, so that's why we are calling you to ask you whether you want to continue these services or you want to cancel it. If you wish to continue, then you need to pay $399.99 per month.
For my vehicle, you said?
No, for your computer services.
Oh, for the computer services.
Yes.
What computer services exactly are we talking about here? Just internet access or what?
No, it was a firewall security and a big agreement for the computer.
Oh, I need security on my computer?
Yeah.
It's too easy to access, isn't it? And they hung up. People know about Randonautica. Be very careful when using this app. They have made sure to make it very explicit in their bylaws they're not taking any responsibility for things. That's a fine example of somebody sitting somewhere who, as soon as I turned the app on, was able to access my phone, get my number, and call me. This is not good, my friends. This is not good at all. And I'm not depicting them or trying to depict them in any bad light at all. I enjoy the app. I think it's pretty awesome what it does for the world. But like I say, you know, it's okay to be paranoid if they are out to get you, because something's going on. And whoever that foreigner was that was trying to sell me internet security services for $399 was surely letting me know that my phone is not that secure and easy to access. But it's okay, because I have a plan. It may not be secure right now because it's a brand new phone, but it will be. And I don't need to pay him to make it that way. But just a little update there, guys. That was mighty odd to be starting our Randonaut journey. And I'd just like to put it out there for any of you, my viewers, who want to go ahead and try out the validity of my statement here. You go ahead and give that gentleman a call yourself. His number is 628-260-5411. Tell him you're interested in having some help with your internet security. I'm sure he'll hook you right up. Just, you know, for like $3.99 or something. Maybe you can talk him down, though.